Alright, I spent quite some time last night investigating a mysterious shadowy appearance on Fyke Isle, and I'm making this quick video to tell you what it is. It was brought to my attention by a long-time viewer called Witcherino, and apparently a screenshot has been going around of this shadow of a woman appearing on your boat as you approach Fyke Isle to do the quest with Anabelle, suggesting that she was likely stalking Geralt from the very beginning, which does make some sense given what we know about the quest, and at first it really seemed intriguing because it's not there before or after the quest, so it really got me hooked. But as I kept testing it, the explanation turned out to be less exciting than I thought. Still, I decided to make this video and share it with you in case it's brought up again in the future. So the shadow truly appears around the isle. As far as I can tell, the longest time frame and location during which you can observe it is somewhere here when you first approach with Keira's boat. And still, it can be difficult to spot. It is best seen during sunset when facing the tower, or sunrise if you're facing the opposite way. Now, the first peculiar thing I noticed is this weird floating transparent object. It shows up near the shadow and it may actually be what's casting it. So naturally I tried hitting it with Igni, and to my surprise it started screaming. In fact, there are at least one male and one female voice screaming at the same time. And it seems to move away, run away perhaps. So apparently there are a few invisible NPCs here, and perhaps one of them is casting the shadow, right? But what puzzled me is that they weren't here before or after the quest. And by the way, this is the case on both old gen and new gen. So I kept trying different things until I finally restarted the quest, and I briefly noticed the small floating object a lot earlier, not too long after I boarded the boat. But it was only for a short while before it disappeared. So I tried again, and it turns out it appears not far from you whenever Keira Metz starts talking through the Xenovox. This is really hard to spot if you're swimming at normal speed because it appears behind you. You'll basically always miss it, but it is there.
Geralt, can you hear me? How goes it? Where are you?
Almost there.
Splendid. I shall contact you again soon.
Wait, this Xenovox, can I contact you with it or is it one way?
One way only, I'm afraid. You'll have to trust my feminine intuition. Geralt, can you hear me? How goes it? Where are you?
Almost there.
Splendid. I shall contact you again soon.
Wait, this Xenovox, can I contact you with it or is it one way?
And so I think the explanation is that the developers are spawning some sort of invisible NPC or a group of invisible NPCs, and Keira's voice is likely coming through them to create a sort of, a sense that she's close to you because you're carrying that Xenovox with you. And it really seems that we're able to see the shadow of one of these NPCs. Initially, it disappears soon after Keira stops talking, but eventually it seems to settle around the location I showed you earlier, and it stays there for quite a bit. And it was in fact around that location where the first screenshot I saw was taken. So that's it. It's the shadow of the Xenovox in a way, which is visible under the right conditions, and unfortunately it's not the ghost of Anabelle roaming around the lake. Which would have been great, I admit. Another curious fact when I told Witcherino, my viewer, of my findings, was that he recalled seeing a shadow somewhere in Cyberpunk when someone was talking to V. So that might be a trick CDPR likes to employ from time to time, using invisible NPCs to talk to the player. I suppose that's the second peculiar thing around this quest. If you recall, there were at least a few videos made around this mystery, about this ghostly thing in the tower. It's only visible from certain camera angles, it kind of fades in and out of the scene, which actually turns out to be a statue of the Virgin Militile. It's like the ones that can be seen around the Crookback Bog, and as far as I can tell, it doesn't have any particular function, other than giving you a bit of a scare at times, I suppose. And yes, with that, I believe I'm done. Tell me if you've had any strange ghostly encounters around the tower, and until the next video, stay tuned and be good.